Hello, me again. Something a little bit different this time. This is the my 1200 RT, and one of the things that I've been considering for some time now is to install the kit that lowers the footrest. This is the second 1200 RT that I've had, and on both of them I've always felt that the footrests are quite high. But also, one of the things that I find is that I always end up with my foot almost right on the edge of the footrest rubber, and it does quite often just slip off, and then you end up, you know, through a journey. It's amazing how many times it does, and the kit actually brings the footrest out slightly further, and it's further forward down, but it does push them out a little bit, and so that might help. So I pushed the boat out, and I got the kit in from Wunderlich. This one came in through Nippy Normans. It's a good kit. It comes complete with the instructions. The parts are nicely separated so that they don't bang against each other and get damaged. Everything you need to install them is in the kit. What I have done as well initially is I've just jotted down some dimensions. So what I did was I took a measurement from the workbench top to the top of the footrest rubber and to the top of the gear lever and the distance between, because I do know that's going to push that slightly further forward, and I'm rather hoping not that it doesn't close this gap too much. I could, if it does, make a new piece here to keep that gap if necessary. And again, the same on the other side. I've measured the height between the footrest at the top and the brake lever. Distance on this one's not so critical, I don't think. So I'm about to make a start. I'm going to start on this side first, because I think it's going to be I just perceive that this side may be the trickiest side, because I've got to obviously release this and lower it, and I just want to get this one out of the way first. So I think I'm going to start on this side. I don't intend to video it all, but what I will do is I'll bring you back in either as and when I've finished, or if I come across a problem. So I'll catch you later. Right, that's just taken me perhaps 40-45 minutes top to fit that, and as with all things I do, I've done a little bit of fiddling about. It's very good. The components are very good. They fit extremely well. Let me just take you through the sequence. Obviously, if you imagine this in here, which is your original footrest position, all you do is drop the E-clip off the bottom. You push the pin out, that frees the footrest off, it comes up. Fit the bracket, and the only thing that I've done there is that on the bracket, this screw here winds into the bracket, and then you've got okay, so you get an Allen key and you go in through that hole there, and the idea then is that you wind that, and it locks it in position, so it's pivoting, and then you screw the screw in and locks it against the frame. Now the only thing I've done there is I've just incorporated a small piece of aluminium shim. So all I've done is get a piece of aluminium shim like that and just stick it between the new bracket and the cycle frame piece here. I didn't fancy the idea of that screw chewing into the aluminium. So you get that bracket in place, it fits very nicely. So then mount the footrest back into the new bracket, make sure the spring sits behind the dog there, and that's really the footrest mounted. It's fine, it seems okay. Riding will be the proof of the pudding. And so then all you have to do is you then have to adjust the footrest, the brake lever. Now the footrest dropped 20mm. I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that, but it's only 20mm. So the measurement I had on that was 363. So 20mm off of that is 343. So all I've done there is taken the pin off the rear caliper, 8mm spanner at the top, 10mm spanner at the bottom, released the lock nut. I then took that clasp off. You get a new screw in here, so they give you a longer screw in the kit. So pull the brake lever down, take the old screw out, put the new screw in, and set the distance that I wanted on the brake lever from the bench to the top of the brake lever, and then realign the clasp by adjusting the clasp up and down the thread, get it right, tighten, put it back together and tighten it up. And really it's as simple as that. Obviously opportunity to just clean a few bits up and put a bit of lube on, but yeah, chuffed with that side. I thought that was going to be the most difficult side. Let's hope I'm not proved wrong. So I'll go and crack on with the other side, and I'll bring you back in when I've finished that. Okay, that's the left hand side done, and it was a little bit more involved, I guess, than doing the brake lever side. The fitting of the footrest, the hanger is an exact replication of doing the other side. So you just take the E-clip off the bottom of the original E-clip off, you pull the pin out, which drops the footrest off, you fit the new bracket, etc. The only thing I've had to do, and I might just have to go back and revisit the other side, the spring, which is usually hidden away in this slot here, was actually sticking out here by probably a good 10mm. And if I'm honest with you, it's probably still a little bit too, it's the sort of thing that you're just going to rip your hand open on one day when you're cleaning it. So I just need to take that off, but fitting it was fine. For adjusting the brake lever position, the instruction is it tells you to remove a clip here, and then you just rotate the spindle arrangement here. Well, to be quite honest with you, what I actually ended up doing was just dropping the 3 screws out here, taking the main fixing bolts out of this plate here and just dropping this plate off. And what that does is exposes the gear linkage. You've got, it's a sort of a turnbuckle arrangement with a left and a right hand thread on, and with an 8mm and a 10mm spanner, all I did was just slacken the lock nuts off, remembering that the top one, I believe, is the left hand thread, so you have to just turn the nut the different way. And so what I did was just slacken that all off and adjust the brake pedal to where I wanted it to be, and then lock it all back up and put the plate back on. I didn't bother trying to take the spring off as it says in the instruction manual. I have actually had this out and done a test ride on it. Massive improvement on riding position for me. It certainly relaxes the leg. It does as it says in the bump. It just opens the angle of your knee up a little bit. Still got a little bit of fine tuning to do, I think, with the relationship of the gear lever, and I have had to do a bit of extra work with the brake lever. I came back in yesterday and I took it down by another 10 millimeters there, and the issue that I had here was on the clevis. You've got the adjustment, that's not a problem, but the issue that I had was that the piston rod bolt was sticking out the bottom of the clevis, so you couldn't get it back on. So I did have to just take 5mm off the bottom of this clevis pin, and I think I'm just going to see whether I can knock up an extension to the brake pedal, because I've been out again on it this morning, and it's not always where you expect it to be, and it's that one moment in an emergency when you need it and you're fumbling for it. So I'm just gonna make that 50mm long and fix that on there. Apart from that, the only other criticism that I have is, because I've moved them further, it's fantastic for my riding position. You know, the situation that I've had for a long time where I've got my foot right on the outside edge of the footrest has gone. It's superb for that. But the only issue that I really find now is that the footrests are exactly where your foot or your leg wants to be when you come to a stop, and you consciously have to remember that you've got your footrests in the way. I'll see what it's like after a long run. I guess it's just going to be one of those things you get used to. It's not a massive problem, but again, it's just that one time when you want to get your foot down in a hurry and all of a sudden the footrest's there, it might catch you out. So I'm going to do I'll do those other mods and I'll do some longer term testing, but at this moment in time, well happy with it. Good product, relatively easy to fit, only complicated by my incessant need to fiddle with things and just get them right. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later. Okay, this is just a summary of the installation of the Wunderlich footrest lowering kit for the 1200 RT. I did, as I suggested earlier in the earlier part of the video, make an extension to the brake lever. That's 50mm long, and all I did was just put a knurl on it. It is stainless steel, this piece is, but I put a knurl on it, and actually to secure it, threaded on the inside of this piece here, and then actually drilled through the footrest in the middle of the footrest bracket just to secure it. Now you can buy those, I think you can actually buy those from places like Nippy Norman's, probably out of the Wunderlich catalogue, already machined, probably in aluminium, to go on. So it would save the hassle. You just buy one and put it on. If I'm honest with you, that could probably actually do with being just a little bit longer, but it's a vast improvement on just the standard footrest, because you've got to bear in mind you've moved your foot out quite a way. I did a trip to France, and I have to say that it is a vast improvement. I guess throughout the whole trip to France it was a more relaxed riding position. The only downside is, as I alluded to on a previous bit of the video, the footrests are now exactly where you want to put your feet or your legs when you come to a stop. It's not a massive problem, but it is something, and it's the only downside of the whole fitting that I can see. Other than that, it just makes riding the bike a lot better, but there is just that one little piece where you just have to be a little bit careful. Hasn't caused me a massive issue, but every so often you put your foot down, you think, oh right, footrest there, yeah. But other than that, fantastic. It's made riding the bike a lot better. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again.